All right, it's hard to believe, but this is our final session of our Seahorse indoor soccer instruction series. We hope you've enjoyed it. We got more, so don't go away. But we hope you've had a great 8 sessions with us. So today we're going to kind of do a recap of all the things that we talked about, the differences between outdoor soccer and futsal, some of the skills that we've gone through and the challenges, and wrap up our Bible time in the fruit of the Spirit as well. So we hope you have a great session today. Make sure you're paying attention to Coach Daniel now.
So over the last 7 sessions, we've been talking about the differences between futsal and outdoor soccer. And I just want to take some time to recap those and remind you of what we talked about. So as you remember, futsal is played on a basketball court and not grass. Because it's played on hardwood, then we use normal shoes or indoor shoes versus cleats or shoes that have spikes on it. The balls are different in futsal versus soccer. The futsal ball is smaller, heavier, and doesn't bounce quite as much. When we restart after a ball goes out of bounds in futsal, we don't throw it in, but we use our feet to kick the ball back in. If the goalkeeper is restarting the ball, if it goes off past the goal line, the goalkeeper gets to use their hands to roll the ball out to one of their teammates. In futsal, we play with 5 players instead of the 11 that are on a normal soccer field. The substitutions can happen at any time as long as your coach says. And finally, in futsal, at our league, we're going to be playing 4 10-minute quarters instead of a full 90-minute game. Thank you guys for watching all these videos. We got one more skill and one more challenge session for you guys. We look forward to hopefully being out on this court soon. All right, as we wrap up, I want to introduce one more skill, defending. So we're going to use 4 words to remember the technique of defending. Those words are fast, slow, sideways, and low. So watch as we show an example of how to properly defend. I want you to be looking for those 4 different words. All right, so if I'm defending Coach Bill, I want to approach him fast, but as I get closer, I'm going to go slow. As you see, my body is facing sideways because I want to push Coach Bill away from where the goal is, and I'm going to be low so that I don't fall over. So that way, as Bill is dribbling, I can push him away, and when that chance comes, I can go ahead and steal the soccer ball.
If you've been following along in the videos with us, you probably know this verse really well. Let's say the verse together. Galatians 5:22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So over the last number of videos, we've been able to go through these different characteristics between either me and Coach Bill, and today I get a chance to talk about self-control. So you maybe have been in this situation if you've played sports before or maybe watched this in a professional sports game, but you might see times when somebody either hits somebody, says something that would make somebody angry, and somebody decides to retaliate. Someone either decides to strike that person back or maybe say something mean in return. And this is something that we see often in sports. And we've seen in some major sports games, some tragic times of retaliation where a player has hit another player back. And it's caused issues for their team. Either they've been sent off the field and allowed them not to win the game, or it's injured another player. But then we also see times when there's somebody who is hit or someone says something mean to them and they turn to them and they don't retaliate. Although inside them they might want to strike back or say something mean in return, they decide not to. And this is an example of self-control. It's us responding in a way that God would like us to respond to a situation that may create some negative emotions. So one thing that I think for everybody, especially athletes, that can be tough to control when we're practicing self-control is our words. Sometimes when hurtful things are said to us, it's really easy to want to turn back and snap at that person that has said something to us. In the book of James, chapter 3, it talks a lot about taming our tongue and watching what we say. It refers to our tongue as a rudder on a ship. and talks about this big, massive ship, but it's guided by such a small part that's in the water. It also talks about our tongue as just a small spark. And from that small spark, large fires can happen and a lot of destruction. We can use self-control with the words that we might say to keep ourselves from hurting other people. In soccer specifically, if you say something bad to another player or the referee, that could cause you to be sent off the field and that could hurt your team. If you turn and you quickly say something mean to maybe one of your siblings or your parents, that could really hurt that relationship. And that could be something that could take a long time to build back. So self-control can be practiced both on the soccer field and in our lives. So after this video, I want you to try and think of a time, maybe in the future, when somebody says something mean to you or hits you and you want to quickly turn around and maybe say something mean back. Maybe we can try to practice self-control. Try to find a way to maybe keep in those mean words or the actions that we might want to say. Be patient and then act in return with love, how God would want us to respond. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching all of these videos and that you've learned a few soccer skills along the way. I hope that you are safe and healthy now during this time. I hope that in the near future you can join us for another Seahorse program. I hope that through these videos you've been able to grow closer to God and learn a bit more about what it means to walk with God through life. I hope that, again, once our program starts up again, that we can see you again. And if you do have any questions about the soccer skills, but specifically these Bible times, that you'll be able to bring those up to Coach Bill or I or one of the other Seahorse staff. Thank you again for taking the time to watch all of these videos. I hope that you enjoyed them. And here's your last skill challenge.
So I hope you've been practicing over the last 8 sessions, following along with these videos and participating in the challenges. If you remember, in session 4, we did our juggling challenge. So I challenged you to see how many consecutive juggles you could get. After now more time practicing, I hope that your skills have got better just in this short amount of time, and I want you to try to beat your past score. Let us know what your score of consecutive juggles is, and if you were able to improve from last time.